Brian Sapramuk. Welcome, Mr. Sapramuk. You have 3 minutes.
Right, just start the timer. So, all right. So I'm Ward 7's rep on the Charter Review Committee. My role is actually looking at the numerical values, and I spearheaded most of the numerical values within that report. So I'm here to walk you through sort of those calculations on how it came to be. Those calculations are based on a forecasting model that reflects the historical patterns within the city of Riverside, looking particularly at the Riverside quarterly reports. The three major revenue resources that the city relies on is the sales tax, property tax, and the user utility tax. So if you look at the model and looking at the sales increase within that report, you see that there is a net gain, although there is a spike, a large spike, but that is in the report you should already see it is due to the stimulus money that came in. Even if you take the baseline, once you normalize the graph, that means like you take an average of the increase, like the flat line, you see that it is still a roughly 3% increase in the retail sales. Now, within all calculations, there's always a variance that is like a plus or a minus. For the sales model, it has a positive variance of a 0.2%. So in total, that is 3.5. Second, you can look at the median household price. That is a correlation to the property tax value, and that also sees an increase as well. Even if I take the lowest value and adding in that variance value, if I calculate the total value there, it is 3.5 million. Lastly, it's the user utility tax number. It is the least amount in your tax report, but it can still be estimated to be roughly growth of 1 million in value. And I know that that is going to increase because you did have a passage of a new tax that's going to be on there. So if you take all things into consideration within those numbers, the $38 million decrease to the $30 million is only a net loss of $8 million, right? That's wrong. It's not $8 million. Because if you've seen the growth in all the other three tax values, adding those in together, that $8 million is really a net loss of $2 million because the $6 million came from growth of the other three values, right? So now, I looked at the survey. I spent plenty of time looking at the survey. The survey has an assumption that the concern of the city of Riverside is the loss of revenue and the services. If you look at the category within your government spending, public service, highway, street, and you see that value, the $2 million loss, is still less than 1%. It is roughly 0.7%. What that means is if you look at your water bottle, you see your cap, cut that in half. That is the size of what we're actually decreasing from the overall budget. That is how small that is. So it is within purview of your vision of your 2025 that's within budget.
Thank you, Mr. Sapramuk.